Hello, this is my final for my game 341 class for Alexis Lane. We are starting off in a world where the story doesn't really fit with who the character is right now, but it's basically a kid going around and collecting objects for some hermit up in the mountains. And let's begin. So you start off on this basic platform and you have a few easy platforming jumps. If you miss it, no worries, it just sends you straight back to the beginning. I took these textures from both the Infinity Grasslands and Infinity Ice Fortress, or I can't remember exactly what it's called, something like that. So the first thing you're drawn to, simply because everything here is literally green and gray. Once you get over here, boom, you see the blue boxes. These blue boxes are very important. They are our quote-unquote bombs for the game, and I call them grapefruit boxes because originally this was going to be a land where a kid was just trying to get ingredients to build a cake. But now that changed a little bit. So we're going to grab grapefruit box. Now you'll notice it's a little weird, but that's okay. And when we come over here, we'll notice that we have this weird texture. That'll be important for later. So you're really not sure what to do with the grapefruit box unless you just run around and magically hit this area, which you pretty much have to do because you can't get anywhere else. So then after that, you need to go down the tunnel. And right away, you wouldn't even think about turning back because you have this object that's glowing and a light right above it. But if you were to turn back, you would notice that you can't jump up and you can't even climb up or grasp anything right now because there's nothing down here that you can do that with. So your only choice is to go forward. And now that we grabbed it, you'll see in the corner it said climb now. The effects stay, but that's okay. And now we have our first object. Now, with this wall, now we can climb up it just by pressing the spacebar. So now that we know that this material must be the same. And you can't go that direction quite yet, or farther that direction, because of the little ledges along the wall. So I have to go down. But before we go down, you can see that there are more grapefruit boxes and another one of those pickup objects. And something spinning and floating that's gold. So once we go down, because there's the rock there, we can test over here. And we can click, click, click all we want, but we need a key pass first. Kind of like this section because I liked the metallic of the grate along with the fires. It kind of is an old-fashioned thing that you wouldn't really find out in the middle of the woods. And so then we can go up this magical floating path because in my favorite games everything is somehow floating. So then we get over here and we kind of look around, and this is a game of looking around. I enjoy looking around when I'm in a game, so I applied it here as well. And one of the weird things we notice now is there's an angel, and in the angel's hand, I'm not really sure what that is. It looks to be a cup or something, like she's praying to the cherry tree. Now we have a whole bunch of these grapefruit bombs yet, but we don't need them right away. So we can take a pause, and we have the option to go up there, but then we also have all these crazy things going on over here in a little glinty glint, kind of like an object we saw earlier. So then we get up, and I totally miss because I'm jumping at the wrong time. A lot of these textures for the spinning objects are actually just like a snow and rock texture that I placed on. I wanted them to stand out so that you wouldn't get lost in all the greens and the grays. And here is the second object. We gotta collect a whole bunch of these for the man up in the hut. Now, a little bit of a funny story with this part. There is a giant rock that I tried using earlier. It did not work very well because when I got over here to climb up the wall, it wouldn't let me climb up. Luckily, I still had my cheat climb ability and was able to get up the wall. But now you can overlook. Can't really see much this direction. But then once you get all the way through, you can see there's a lot of stuff here. There's a gate in which I would say this would be the jumping off the cliff gate that you jumped over it, busted your way through, and just kind of fell. Now, because we're not actually supposed to do that, you can only really see all this stuff. You can kind of peek under and see there's more to come, and that they're actually down below. And because we know there's a rock down there, we can go ahead and grab a grapefruit bomb very carefully, because these things are quite finicky. And go through the tunnel back down to the ground below. Alright, this is an entirely new area. We have these weird blocks here. Can't really tell what they are from the ground. But then you come over here and you've got all these fences. And if you're like me and like the fences, then you know you're going to be somewhere kind of important. Alright, these spikes are a little strange. I took a cryopod texture and you can kind of cheat your way up through that section. It's not the greatest section. I don't really like this section. I say I don't like it mostly because I'm not very good at it. And with the jump and the jumpy climbs, it's kind of a weird jump. And then we jump on top of this. And now we can see that there is some text. Now these two big boxes are actually tombstones. They're sarcophagus, I think, or sarcophagus, something like that is what I found in the textures. And now we finally made it over here. And that brick thing right there, that's actually part of the tunnel. I just loved it. It looked fine. And here we have this weird gold bar. And if we click it, oh my gosh, we received a keycard. What do we need a keycard for? That crazy door over there with the fires on both sides. Just a nice little touch. I like putting these rocks here. Alright, now if we click onto that, now we're in a crazy place because I like grass and trees and stuff. But I knew I couldn't put it everywhere. And now we have another one of these angels, except this angel is looking down and has their hands folded. It's a little sadder than the last angel. And below and behold, we have another little thingy dingy. I don't know what to call them because they used to be ingredients, and now they're not. I think if I was given like my own custom texture pack, it would still be an ingredient-based game. Alright, just a second ago, I ran into this thing and it said plate and hit. Now it'll say already hit. It has activated something for us because over here we couldn't really get anywhere else. And plus we were too excited about the key card and the glowy, I don't even know what to call them anymore. We're gonna call them discs. We're collecting discs so that the Hermit can power his way into outer space or something crazy like that. Alright, and we just have a series of jumps over the endless abyss, like always. Because what game doesn't have an endless abyss? And then we see this awesome thing. And see a path that leads up to the bridge, and the bridge is blocked. And we say, oh no! We need to get back! But there's no way to get back. You just fall and get set back. But if you look closely enough, there's another little pile of bricks, and there's another torch. And now, much like earlier, we've got a little wall climb area, and now it's going to be with 3. And I kind of can see stuff over there as well. Another one of them glowing discs. Try not to fall here. And hopefully, there we go. Make it onto the rock. Now, if you really want, I suppose you can go onto the rock back there, but let me just make it through here. And now we've got a whole bunch of stuff. Got some pretty flowers right there, bucket, a glowy disc, some more flowers. So I'm going to grab the grapefruit bomb because we need it to get rid of the rock. And we'll jump right over the lantern, the old-fashioned lantern. And now here we've got what looks like a lot of craziness. And I'll agree, it is a lot of craziness. This is the second puzzle piece, the first being the key card to get into the angel area so we could lift up the 3 walls. This section is to bring down the bridges and kind of have to think about where you gotta go because you're only given 1 grapefruit box back here. Of course, you could always go back, as I placed extra up there in case you couldn't figure out how to do the puzzle. We start with the middle. So I'll just give you a little bit of a look to see where we're going. The orange boxes are what we are going to be using to place on the triggers, which are these beautiful things on this slab of rock. Now I could pick up the grapefruit box if I really wanted to, but I discovered this guy is really great at playing soccer. And sometimes kicking the box is a lot faster than picking up the box. Now we've got this one, and we can go ahead and pick it up, hopefully. Come on. There we go. I feel like I am talking to a dog when I'm trying to get these grapefruit box and orange boxes to work with me. Now we're going to pick up this one, and we're going to look. Where can we go next? Where is the next grapefruit box? The next grapefruit box is all the way up there, so we're going to go this direction. And down below we actually have a safety area. I added that just because I've been kicking grapefruit boxes down there on accident, and I don't want to really lose those because they take a long time to get. If I have to go all the way back to the wishing well. I was starting to try and mimic how the mountains, at one point, they're kind of rocky, like over there, but sometimes they're also very grassy, and then when you get farther up, it's usually a lot more snowy. It's kind of was hard for me to portray with such boxy objects, but I think it worked out just fine. I placed this on top of a box. Earlier it was more in the middle, but you couldn't see the top grapefruit box just by itself. It needed a little more height and it needed to be a little more forward. So I was just utilizing my given meshes, and now we can grab the final box. Which I also placed these on top of more boxes because 1, it just looked nice, and 2, you couldn't see it. Hopefully, okay. Sometimes it'll the box will go a little crazy and it'll send me flying. Hopefully it doesn't send me flying so far off the map that I need to restart. Unfortunately, you missed seeing the bridge collapse, but once you get all 3 down, then the bridge will go. I believe, yeah, it won't undo if I take them off. So I can show that in a quick speed run. So now we have the last one here. It's kind of this weird shrine. There's a lot of little weird things around here. Is it a shrine? Is it a gravestone? Up to you. Just because I know it's coming, I'm going to stick that grapefruit box down there. Now we're going to go up. I forgot to put that there. Alright, well, you can use your imagination and pretend there's mountains all around this entire place. Just like the one I placed down below. And there it is. The final rock. Now this part is a bit of a pain, because these boxes go where the camera is, and if you're trying to look forward and climb, it doesn't work out so well. Just kind of have to figure out how to climb, but sideways. Of course, I nailed it the first time, because I've been practicing. Because it is kind of hard. That's a little hard to see here because of the rocks disappearing afterwards. But if you look at the bottom, you can tell that there's more of this rock material to climb up. And now we've made it to this beautiful place of the Hermit's home. Hermit is currently not in, but he left his fires going off. Fire's going a little crazy. You kind of take a look around and, oh, there's another gravestone, because I like graveyards. Graveyards are really cool, very relaxing, and very strange. And now that we're at the top, after seeing all this beautiful, beautiful meshes and texture work done by people that are not me, you can appreciate looking down at that gray slab their area, because it's just a gray slab. But you can appreciate everything else, like the trees and the grass. And then you can jump off and call it a day. And now just to do a quick playthrough, because you can definitely skip a whole bunch of this stuff, because I still have my cheat stuff on. But you can go all the way over here, make it through this way if you really wanted to, but I at least want to get my climb, so I'm gonna do this real quick. Fly on down. I really just want to show the bridge part, so I'm just gonna quick get to the bridges. Because the bridge, I thought it looked nice when it comes down together. Actually, we're gonna do cheat climb, because cheat climb is the wonkiest climb. Alright, now it played. And now we're gonna go through and show all the things that you can just kind of glitch on through. That definitely can take away some of the glamour, but I think it's kind of fun showing what is quote-unquote working. I mean, the rocks do work. It's just because they have, like this one I can't actually get through. The side rocks that are not that dark color are extra meshes thrown in the blueprint. And here's the biggest part that I wish I could have gotten coded correctly, but I didn't really figure out how to use for each loops in the blueprint form. So I'm just going to grab this box And there it is. There was the beautiful dropping of the bridge. And that would be my project. Thank you for watching. It was a fun class, and I hope to have you for another class soon. Have a good one.